guys, and welcome back. Welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies. And in today's video, I actually wrote a Darth Vader monster book. And it's actually on the channel. You guys can go check that out. And in today's video, I thought it would be actually a really good idea to kind of do these companion videos every now and again, talking about the chapters. And in today's video, we are going to, of course, kind of go over the first 3 chapters of my fan-made Darth Vader monster book called Rebel Run. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this and possibly explain some of your questions about the book and everything. So let's go ahead and get into this. So the entire first third of the book, the entire first 3 chapters, I would say, are really just set up for what's coming up next. We are really just starting to get into the story, and within next week's video, chapter 4, we'll definitely be diving more into what the story is going to evolve into, so I can't wait for that. But the first 3 chapters here are really just set up, so let's kind of go over the first 3 chapters here, shall we? Okay, so the first chapter, we just kind of meet my main characters, which I have really 6 main characters, okay? So the main character we have is Scott. Now, let me just say this. I am terrible with names. I cannot come up with names at all. Like, typically, whenever I create a character for one of my stories, I'm like, okay, what is a good name? And I just go with the first thing that comes to my mind, and I figure I will change it later. And sometimes I do, a lot of the times I don't. I'd never heard of a character named Scott in Star Wars before, so I don't know, I thought it would be kind of funny to have a character named Scott in Star Wars. So I just went with it. I probably should change it. Let me know down in the comments below. What would you name this character? Because I'm not feeling the name Scott, even though that's the one I went with. But yeah, we got Scott here. And why is the image for Scott actually, well, it's Finn. Well, the reason why is because John Boyega, the actor, I really liked the character of Finn in Star Wars, Episode 7, the sequel trilogy. Say what you want about the sequel trilogy, I actually highly do not like most of the sequel trilogy. By the way, shoutouts to Ninjoid243, who's going to be doing a sequel trilogy Ninjoid cut, and I cannot wait to see his Ninjoid cut. So shoutouts to him. Go check him out and subscribe to him because you're not going to want to miss his Ninjoid cut. Now, back to Scott here. So I really liked the character of Finn. And at least in episode 7 and episode 9, that's how I kind of pictured my character of Scott. The way John Boyega plays the character, I don't know, I basically wanted my character Scott here to emulate Finn from episode 7 a bit. So that's why when I eventually decided to turn this into a slideshow and put it on YouTube, I decided that Finn would actually be a great candidate to play Scott in my Star Wars Rebels Run book. So that's why Finn is Scott. I really like the character of Finn, and I really like John Boyega. And if I could go back in time and recast John Boyega in anything in Star Wars, this is the character I would have him play. Basically, a Finn-type character. Because I think he did great, at least with Episode 7 and Episode 9. Again, I'm not really in Episode 8, guys, but that's just me. Now, moving on, then we actually have... Okay, so this is really funny. We have this character named Analla, right? And I started writing this book before I saw The Mandalorian, and then I kind of stopped because I got sidetracked and I had to do other things, and then I saw the character of Cara Dune. Say what you want about the actor, I like the character of Cara Dune. Sorry, not sorry. I like the character of Cara Dune, and when I went back into got back into writing this, I realized, oh my god, I just wrote Cara Dune. So my character, long before I even saw Cara Dune, I had a character from Alderaan who was a girl who uh was a pretty good fighter with big guns, you know. Um, and she has a tendency in battle to say "die, Empire, die." I thought that was a kind of a creative way to write a character, and that's why I really liked Cara Dune in The Mandalorian, because it was basically my Analla character come to real life. I don't know if I would cast Cara Dune as the character of Analla, just because I don't think you know how Cara Dune is kind of a really strong woman. I don't think Analla would be very muscular. I think she would be a lot lighter on her feet, but she is definitely the Cara Dune character type. So that's why Cara Dune is indeed the the picture for Analla in my series. So moving on, we have, of course, the twins. I really like Twi'leks, but we don't have a lot of male Twi'leks. I thought it would be great to actually have more male Twi'leks, and that's why I did the twins, Chad and Lad. Nothing else I could say about those two characters. I really don't have anything to say about those two characters. I just like Chad and Lad. I should have named them something completely different. I don't know why I went with Chad and Lad. And then we have Durie. And yes, that's right, I call him Durie. And Durie is a Wookiee that was born in the Empire slavery. If you guys don't know, the Empire actually enslaved the Wookiee species. And I thought it'd be just kind of interesting to have a Wookiee character. By the way, even though in this book, will be their main book, I do plan to write other Star Wars books, and I think I'll bring some of these characters back in those other books every now and again and make maybe a coherent story of my own in the Star Wars universe. I don't know, I think it'd be fun. Okay, so the next character to actually talk about. Okay, so I basically just wanted a stormtrooper, a clone trooper in my book. The clones are, Rex is one of my favorite characters of Star Wars. I absolutely love the clones from the Clone Wars, and every single time when I write a book of Star Wars, I promise you this, if I can include a clone trooper, then I'm going to include a clone trooper, because I really like the clones in Star Wars. And yeah, that's basically our main characters. And yeah, so what I pretty much wanted was, I wanted an old creepy tower, because you see, like a Dracula tower, right? I really like Dracula tower. I like the monster movies of Frankenstein's castle. So I kind of got the idea of an old creepy tower in an old forest where Darth Vader is just killing rebels. I almost said killing troopers. Yeah, he's killing his own men now. No, he's killing rebels. And so I thought it'd be cool making the rebels in this like old creepy tower, have it be their old base. I made a Jedi temple for no real reason at all, just to add some lore to the place, you know. Yeah, and obviously the picture that I used, I found this old tower, and it's a gold picture, but it has like 2 floors. No, the tower has 5 floors. I just thought that this image would give you an idea of what I was thinking in my head for the look of the tower. But yeah, so so we basically have Vader in an old creepy tower, like Frankenstein's monster kind of tower, destroying the rebels. That's basically what the plan there is. And of course, we go through all of these different rooms because they're going to, of course, come back in the story. I try to make it seem like this place could possibly be haunted because later on, Vader's going to use his force abilities, and they're gonna think the place is haunted, and it's just this weird monster that came out of nowhere and just started destroying everybody, kind of thing. So yeah, I got kind of an idea there. I got kind of an idea, but again, chapter 1, 2, and 3 are all just set up for what's coming down the line. And I do know about Vader's castle. In fact, there was actually a comic book that came out from Disney, and it was called The Tales of Vader's Castle. And we went through a bunch of different monster and ghost stories, like the ghost ship from Rebels. Yeah, there was a story about the ghost actually having a ghost on board. Like, that was fun. There was one where Count Dooku turned into Dracula. I'm not even kidding. They were just really fun, but they really gave me the idea of how you could really kind of mash up the monster Halloween kind of feel with Star Wars, especially with Vader, because Vader, he's a Frankenstein himself. He's terrifying. So I really liked the idea of this monster book, obviously, and I've had this idea for a very long time. Disney will probably never do it, but yeah, I hope you guys have been at least enjoying the book. But again, it's all just set up for what comes next. So they're doing their rebel thing when the Empire shows up. Captain Noxie, who in my eyes is a Tarkin wannabe, similar to Orson Krennic, but unlike Orson Krennic, this guy wants to be Tarkin. This guy doesn't hate Tarkin. He worships Tarkin. He wants to be Tarkin. Tarkin is his hero. That's how I kind of want to write this character, and I have plans for this character in other stories. We actually aren't going to get a lot of Noxie in this book, but Noxie is a captain of a gladiator class Star Destroyer. Now, why did I go with a gladiator class Star Destroyer instead of my absolute favorite ship, the Star Destroyer? Well, the reason why is because we only have a few number of rebels in this story, right? So I really felt like it would be silly if there was a whole bunch of Imperial ships that all get taken out by one or two little rebels, I really didn't feel like that was right for the story. So I still wanted a lot of Empire and Imperial forces, but this is a small planet. Why would the Empire send a gigantic fleet to a very, very tiny little planet? So that's why I decided to just go with a Gladiator class Star Destroyer. It's smaller. It's still a really, really cool looking ship. I really like the design of the ship as well. It's canon, and of course, we can take this down. It's actually plausible to take this down versus our little team taking down a gigantic Star Destroyer of all things. That's the one thing I will say about Star Wars. Sometimes you have this gigantic empire against the rebel forces, and when you only have like one or two, when the story only takes place over like one or two or maybe like four couple little rebels, it seems pretty ridiculous that they take out such a gigantic force with nothing but their wits, right? Obviously, with great planning and great strategy, it does work within the story, but sometimes it sometimes can be a little ridiculous. So that's why I decided to go this route with the Gladiator class Star Destroyer being smaller and something that the rebels could actually fight and still have to deal with. Something that would definitely give them some type of fight to overcome. give them something definitely to at least overcome, you know? And in the next part of the story, we're going to basically get here's a little spoiler. It's not a huge spoiler, but here's a little something for chapter 4, 5, and 6. And the next part of the story, we're basically going to have the rebels deal with this, and then they're going to eventually get on to the point where they're about to win, and then Vader's gonna show up and kill them all. That's basically what my story is going to be. But I hope you guys do enjoy this video. I hope you guys are enjoying my Darth Vader monster movie. Thank you guys for watching, and I am out for now. Don't forget to watch chapter 4 next week, and I'm out.